Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Winlynn's Journey. This is a Legend in the Mist solo game that I began a couple weeks ago. We are following the adventures of a young sorcerer's apprentice by the name of Winlynn. Um, I will be running through the story tonight to continue her adventures to see where else she can get into trouble too. She's had some trouble with some things lately. It's been a tough road for her, but I'm hoping tonight, maybe with the help of a new friend by the name of Lena Lunarbarrel, see if maybe she does a little bit better with a little bit of support. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched so far. It's been a great reception. People really seem to be enjoying the game. Please leave comments in the video if you've enjoyed this, or conversely, if you haven't enjoyed it, let me know your constructive criticism. Then I can always improve as a streamer and as a gamer. So let's go ahead and get started. Where we had left off was that Winlynn had met up with a wannabe bandit by the name of Lena Lunarbarrel, who had attempted to rob her, but isn't really even very good at being a thief. Had wounded Winlynn, but apparently felt bad about it, and has decided to stick around and help Winlynn. The thing that Winlynn found most interesting, beyond the hey, a thief who was trying to hurt me is now trying to help me, is the fact that Lena's last name is Lunarbarrel. And if you'll remember from the last episode, Winlynn had been told of almost like a prophecy about the area of York. And had something to do with a water serpent and a barrel. So we don't know if this was just coincidence or what, but this has intrigued Winlynn to let this girl assist her, because frankly, she knows she could use the help. So where we're going to pick up is about an hour or two later after their meeting, and they have set up camp. Lena has started to prepare some bandages for Winlynn's leg to try to help maybe heal some of the damage that she had done. So while they are sitting there, Lena is going to try to see if she can help, again, try to help heal Winlynn's leg. Let's try that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, we're going to have a roll. So she is going to use the bandages tag, heart of gold, and in terms of a weakness, probably maybe overconfident. She still is pretty sure that this is going to just turn out fine. So let's go ahead and make a roll. I think that's just going to be a quick one. And let's see how she did. And oh boy. All right. Well, she did manage to get the bandage on there. Winlynn kind of gritted her teeth and kind of grumbled and growled a little bit while the wound was cleaned. But there was a complication. And we're going to say that while maybe the wound has been cleaned from any kind of infection, Winlynn is going to really be kind of stuck on the ground, maybe for about a day. She's not really going to be able to put much weight on this leg. So that is going to leave them at yet another disadvantage. So looking at Winlynn's tags, she has, let's take a look at her again. She has her injured leg. I'm going to say it's not going to, it was a 2. I think we're going to stay with where it was at a 2. It's still injured, but any plans she had for kind of rummaging around for the night, maybe for the next day, really aren't gonna happen. So, in terms of the evening, they will have a small chat. Winlynn asks Lena for a little more information about herself. She knows Lena's kind of on the short side, but she starts to inquire about Lena's background. And Lena mentions that she is a halfling, and her family has a nearby farm, but for the most part, they really haven't interacted with the locals too much. There seems to be some misjudgings about halflings, and for the most part, they tend to stay on their own. This could be why Lena has decided to, maybe think of going to a life of crime, maybe trying to, build some kind of a street rep for her. So they will prepare to spend the night in this spot. Lena has started a fire and has said she's going to take first watch. So kind of huddling, kind of pulling the cloak she has around her a little tighter. She prepares to begin her first watch, while Winlynn has kind of a rough start to the evening, but she eventually falls asleep. So let's see how Lena does in terms of her watch. So I would say she has definitely her hardy power tag. Let's see. She is a marksman, so I'm going to say that's going to keep her kind of keeping a sharp eye out on things. In terms of distractions, I think guilty conscience is gonna subtract from her, because she's still feeling a little bad, obviously, about wounding somebody that maybe she didn't potentially mean to do that. So we are going to see how Lena does for her watch. And that is a 7. So she keeps a sharp eye out for the couple hours that she's on watch. She occasionally takes a stick and is, poking the fire. And she occasionally is just kind of rubbing her boots against the ground, maybe an attempt to maybe keep them warm. Maybe it's just a little bit out of boredom. But what she unfortunately did was she kicked up an anthill of some fire ants. So a swarm of fire ants now have started to come out and stream through the camp yard. Lena starts to shout, Winlynn, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move you. There's an ant attack. And Winlynn's like, what? Ant attack? What are you talking? Oh, my leg. What are you doing? And Lena is then trying to pick up Winlynn, and I got to get you somewhere that you're not touching the ground. There's a kind of a solid branch up there. Wonder if I could build something that. And Winlynn's like, no, don't. Just try to set a fire or something to maybe see if there's a way to scare the ants away. And Lena's a little, well, if I start another fire, it might cause a forest fire. So that's why I was thinking, if I get you up higher, don't you dare try to lift me with the way my leg is. You're just going to make it worse. So Winlynn is going to try to pull herself up. She's leaning against a tree. She's like, all right, let me see if I've got something I can do to get rid of these ants that you invited to the party. Well, I didn't really invite them to the party. I know what you mean. Let's see what she can do, perhaps, to get rid of these ants. She's definitely going to use her beginner's wand to get in there and see if she can. Let's see. She definitely needs to concentrate on this. Maybe her master has taught her something about maybe the way to chase out pests. The workshop had some insect problems. Who knows? And I think that's enough for right now. So she is going to wave her wand and be like, all right, let me see if I can do something to banish these little creatures before they tear us all up. And she's going to roll. And oh boy, that fails. It is very bad. Well, here's the problem. Instead of dispersing the ants, she has somehow managed to make them larger. So the ants go from their normal size to about the size of some rats. So now there is a swarm of large ants roaming around. That's when Lena starts to shout, no, that's not what we wanted. We don't want bigger ants. We want smaller ants. Get rid of them. And she is going to pull out her bow, and she's going to have to just start attacking these ants, see if maybe there's a way to drive them away. She's gonna then see if she can coordinate her efforts. Another one of her power tags with Winlynn's abilities. Winlynn is just going to have to give it another shot with the wand to see if maybe she can, conjure fire or something like that to try to drive these guys away. So, but this she's going to have to concentrate on first. So, we are going to first go with Lena to see if she can start driving these ants away. And she fires a couple shots. They land. One hits one of the ants, manages to kill it. But it seems like it's maybe just emboldened the ants a little bit, seeing one of their fellows go down, and they kind of start to charge the pair. Winlynn is going to now try to concentrate her efforts. All right, I've got to concentrate on like a strong wind or a bolt of fire, something that will scare these creatures away. And so she is going to she's going to use all of my notebook. Maybe she's suddenly remembered something that she had written down for a magical power, maybe that with some fire or some wind, maybe even just a hot breeze would be good enough. And she waves her wand and goes, here goes nothing. And that is a 13. From the wand comes out this burst of like hot air that like rushes across the ground and just like blows the ants backwards. Think of it almost as like a hot fire just goes and just starts to like rush, and they just go falling back. And she waves again and again, and it's just these bolts of hot air just come out and seem to just scare the ants away, and they are driven back. So Winlynn has just gained another point of experience, so she's probably gonna be able to update her tag for that. She's maybe no longer a benefit of the doubt. Maybe she is getting a little stronger with her skills. So, but in any case, the ants are driven away, and at that, the two girls just fall to the ground like, oh, I thought we were going to get some rest tonight. Lena says, I just keep making mistakes. And Winlynn's like, trust me, you're not the only one making mistakes, but we'll we'll get through tonight, and it's your turn to keep watch. No, Lena says, I just watched, remember? Now it's your turn. Winlynn goes, oh, that's right. All right, so she gets herself up, finds kind of a tree she can lean against where she can just kind of keep her leg stuck out. And she is going to keep watch while Lena luckily puts her bow away and lays back down. So the remainder of the evening, Winlynn's going to be keeping watch. Let's see. I think she could benefit from her hidden stamina reserves to keep herself awake. I think stiff upper lip. Again, she is just using that tenacity to give herself another boost of energy. And I think in terms of maybe a weakness, I think overworked. Again, this girl's exhausted from having to keep all of these things going. So we're going to roll some dice here, and let's see how she does. And that is a 10. She stays awake the rest of the night. She keeps an eye on the campsite, and nothing else occurs. And they manage to get through the night without any further challenges. The next morning, they don't really have any food because no one had really planned to be out very long. But this is when they begin to discuss what's nearby and what they can do. Lena says, well, what was it again that you were doing out here? And Winlynn says, well, I'm supposed to find goose flesh, and then I'm supposed to find wyvern dust to season it with, and I need to bring it back to a goblin in York. Lena's goose flesh. Well, there is Whitmore Pond. That's kind of just over that short hill there. We could take a look there and see if maybe we can find some geese for you, and maybe even get some breakfast as well. Winlynn says, well, I can't go anywhere with this leg, so if you wouldn't mind, you're not going to just leave me here, right? And Lena smiles and says, no, I wouldn't. I already recognized my first mistake. I'm not going to leave you there. She kind of gathers up all her things and says, I'll be back in 2 shakes of a geese's tail with breakfast. And Lena takes off. So, creeping through the kind of the sparse trees, and it's kind of a light mist this morning. Lena Lunarbarrel gets a spot to begin her goose hunt. Hopefully, it will not be a wild goose hunt. I didn't hit the rim shot for that one. Sorry. So she is going to approach the pond and find a spot where she can take a look for geese. So I'm going to say she's using her halfling size to her advantage this time, to kind of become a smaller target. She doesn't expect the geese to be overly smart, but she doesn't want to spook them early. She spots about 2 or 3 quacking along the edge of the pond. So she's going to draw her bow. She's going to use her called shot, and think that's about all she can use for this. Again, she is overconfident. She sees this as not much of a challenge, and she's going to take her shot. And the arrow flies and strikes one of the geese, and it squawks around and mercifully falls dead. However, the other geese begin squawking and calling out and making a lot of noise, and they all go flying away, leaving not many more choices for Lena to choose from. She's going to scramble out of the brush and pick up the goose, and it's actually one of the smaller ones. The other ones have fled. She's like, well, let's see what. She didn't say how much goose flesh she had to have. She just has to have goose flesh. So maybe there's enough that we can keep for our breakfast. But what she's also going to do is she's going to spot around to see if she can find any berries or anything on the ground, something else that maybe they can eat. She does manage to scramble up a couple berries, and with that, she will head back to their campground. She returns, kind of holding the goose by the neck, and Winlynn looks up and says, "Well, you got one. I guess that's good. Probably better than I would have done. Is there going to be anything else for us?" And Lena kind of puts her hands on her hips and says, "Well, you first could start with thank you. I went out and got all this for us, so don't be too picky about the size of it. Better a goose in a hand than an empty fist. I guess maybe that's an expression." Winlynn kind of tilts her head a little bit. "Well, I don't think that's really an expression, but whatever." The girls spend the rest of the morning kind of munching on some berries, and Lena begins to clean the goose, and is going to use some of her bandages to hold kind of the remaining meat. They do manage to eat a little bit of the goose for breakfast over the fire, but they still know that Winlynn's going to need probably at least another day to try to heal her leg and see if maybe they can make a splint for her to help her walk a little bit. So I think that Lena is probably not very good at this part. I think she's kind of done the best she can, and I think it's time for Winlynn to take over and see if she can maybe rig up some kind of splint for herself to put on her leg and help her get around. Let's see. I think maybe her stiff upper lip again is she's just determined she's not going to just lay here all day. She's going to get moving and get them out of here. And I'm going to say her witch blood. Maybe she knows a little bit more about healing than she recognizes or even thinks that she knows. And in terms of the anything against her, obviously the wounded leg, I mean, she's in pain. So trying to do anything on this leg is really going to be tough on her. So we're going to roll. It's a 0. And oh boy. All right. So she has missed. So she's not able to, she tries for a little while and is just not able to get this splint working. She gets a little frustrated and kind of throws the stuff down. She's like, I just can't do anything right. I mean, everything I try to work on, I can't even rig up wood to hold against my leg. And Lena, I know I haven't been very helpful, but would you mind if I tried? Maybe if I try to put it on your leg while you're doing it. If we work together, maybe we can do it. She says, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Lena. So coordinate efforts is going to be a power tag we can use. And boy, I think guilty conscience. So it's really gonna come out to a 0, but she has to try to see if she can make things better. And she's not able to. So the girls are going to spend probably another couple hours, maybe another night in this same spot. They're really hoping that the fire ants won't come back, because that would really suck. So we're going to see what they can do. Again, I think we're going to update for Winlynn. We are going to update one of her tags. I don't think she's still a beginner's wand. I think it is more her power has started to increase a little bit. So we're going to edit this from beginner's wand to student's wand. In that she is starting to become a student of the rudimentary magic that she has. So not as less powerful. I can't think of the words right now to what she's trying to do. The girls will take watch again. They're gonna have to spend another night here, really, until Winlynn can walk a little better. So I think tonight Winlynn's going to take the first watch to see maybe if she gets Lena gets a little bit more rest. Maybe she'll be a little more useful to her the next day. So she is going to, on her watch, she is going to, all my notebook is one of her power tags. Benefit of the doubt. And I think freak occurrence is applicable here, because she's really concentrating on what she's doing. And if it goes wrong, it's probably going to go horribly wrong. So let's roll for Winlynn. All right. So the fire ants do not come back. Her time on watch goes by rather quietly. But what she does not know is that, because she really hasn't been paying attention to it, is that the breeze has started to pick up, and it means that it's going to rain. She had been concentrating on her leg, not really worrying about such things. And oh man, it's going to rain. And on becomes the drizzle. So it is going to, now they are going to have another tag of cold and wet. So we're just going to add that in here. And that just makes both of them miserable. So, all right. So, Winlynn gets up for her turn. Excuse me. Lena gets up for her turn, and it's her turn to keep an eye out in the drizzle. They really don't have anything to keep them warm, and probably their fire is going to go out if the weather keeps up. So she is going to use her hardy power tag to try to do her best to keep awake and make sure that nothing attacks them this time. Probably her, I'd say her overconfident probably applies this time. And let's just see how she does. Nice. Okay. She manages to keep them safe. Nothing approaches. Luckily, the fire does not go out despite the rain increasing. And they don't really get a restful night of sleep. But by the morning, Winlynn does start to stretch and kind of pops up and is like, all right, I think my leg feels a little better. Maybe we can try to get out of here. So I am going to, her injured leg is now down to 1. And they are going to try to just get out of this spot they're in. And really, once they can start moving, then kind of just plan their next action. Lena knows a little bit about wyvern dust. She knows it's a seasoning derived from the seeds of a firebrush plant, and that locally it can be found along Acorn Ridge, a steep hill to the south of York. So they've already spent 2 days out here with no contact with their family. And again, Winlynn only has a week to get this seasoned goose flesh back to the goblin. So they are going to have to try to get moving quickly, get out of this area and get back to York. York is not a place that Lena has been before, so she may not be as thrilled about going there. They kind of start to discuss it as they move slowly along. They kind of debate back and forth. Lena's, well, halflings, I don't think we're really liked where you're from. I don't know if your people are going to appreciate me being there. So maybe what I should do is just kind of get you to the town gates, and then I'll leave. And hey, it was great meeting you. And one's like, no, you stayed with me. You didn't have to, and you're my friend. So you come with me. We're gonna finish this together. Okay, let's see if they don't notice a particularly short person when we get to town. Well, Winlynn says, maybe what we can do is we can kind of creep along the edge, and maybe we can make our way down to Acorn Ridge without anybody seeing us. So this is something that's going to take them a little bit of work to do, because Winlynn's not moving very fast. So trying to be stealthful with a bad leg is going to be really challenging. I think we are going to see if they can kind of plan this, and Lena may exert some of her personality onto this to say if it's a safe idea, if it's even going to work. So we're going to first roll for Winlynn, because she is kind of dead set on this. So she's going to use her stiff upper lip and benefit of the doubt. And again, the leg is working against her here. So we're going to roll first for her to see how she does. And she got a 12. All right. Now we're going to see how Lena does. Lena at her core, as much as she's a nice person, she's also a little bit of a hustler, and sometimes knows how to tell people what they want to hear, but can also maybe find a way to maybe shift things to her advantage. Again, if she wasn't such a nice person, she probably would become a half decent bandit. So she's going to also apply her underestimated, and again, overconfident. So, and let's see how she does. So she needs to beat a 12. Ah, it's a tie. All right. We are going to say that Lena is probably slightly successful in this, and has finally worn Winlynn down. That Winlynn is going to just go back to the tower and get some rest. And Lena has agreed to meet her at Acorn Hill in a day and a half. They've kind of come to an agreement about that. So she's still got a little bit of time to try to find this firebrush plant, but she's going to try to go back and get some rest. So with her head kind of hung kind of low, she makes her way back to the tower and to Orifex's sanctum. Gets there, she kind of creeps in, kind of looks around. Maybe I could just get to my bed without him saying anything. Climbs up the ladder slowly, gets everything settled, puts her broom down. It's just laying down her head when she hears this tiny voice say, "You've been gone for 2 days without any word, and now you just creep in like you're not going to say anything? I thought I had trained a better apprentice, at least one with some manners, who would at least tell their employer that where they had gone and that when they were coming back." Winlynn rolls over and says, I'm sorry. I did tell you where I was going. I just didn't think it was going to take quite this long. Winlynn. Let me see. And he comes up and he says, "Your face, you look like you're in some pain of sorts." "Yes, I injured my leg. I stuck it on a very bad bramble brush, and it tore into my leg, and it's still very stiff." He showed me the wound, and the gnome comes over, peers down, and it's like his glasses, and he's like, "You think me a fool? This is no simple bramble brush error. You have been struck with an arrow of sorts. What happened?" Now, Winlynn is considering maybe there's a way she can not tell him, but she realizes her reputation is already not very good, and that she is going to need to probably tell him the truth, because she really needs to get this leg healed. So she tells him the truth that a mysterious bandit, maybe partial truth, a mysterious bandit had shot her, but that she managed to get away. That she had already found the goose flesh, and had managed to hobble away, and had hid in the woods until everything had settled. That perhaps she thought she had eluded this hunter. For his part, Orifex listens patiently. He says, "I'm starting to wonder about you, Winlynn, that perhaps you're just unlucky. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it as a statement of fact, that you perhaps attract trouble. And perhaps you need more common sense before you are able to leave again and wander about outside the township. Oh, don't! I just had just kind of a bad streak. And Orifix says, "No, I believe you are going to need to stay here for the next week and recover and perhaps think and study a little bit better of your intentions for what you plan to be doing with your time here." Winlynn's like, "A week? But there's things I need to do that hush. Anything you need, I will attain for you. Now, to your leg." And he leaves for a moment, comes back with a couple of vials of some kind of greenish blue fluid, and he lifts it up, looks at her leg, measures, does some calculations in his head, and mumbles some words over it, and gets a clean bandage, pours just a couple drops of this stuff onto the bandage. It starts to glow. He places it on her leg, and instantly she begins to feel the healing magic of this fluid on the bandages, and immediately relaxes, and before she knows it, she's asleep. So despite her protest, she is not going to be able to leave for the next couple days. Luckily, she has healed the leg, so I'm removing that. I'm going to remove the cold and wet because she's not out in the cold and rain anymore. And she sits up the next morning. I've gotta meet up with Lena. How can I get out of here without Orifix knowing? She glances over at her broom. She says, what if she gets out of bed, hobbles over to her broom. She says, he expects me to be in bed the whole time. Maybe if I could use the broom to make it look like I'm still in bed. So she is going to try a spell that maybe what she can do is transform the shape of the broom into something bigger, that maybe she can hide in the bed. So she is going to try her student's wand now because it's slightly better. Needs to concentrate. Her witch blood. This is nothing that her teacher has taught her, and stiff upper lip. And I think freak occurrences definitely applies because something terrible could happen with this. She puts the broom in the bed, steps back, begins saying some magic words, and we're going to roll for her and see how she does. And look at that. That's a 12. Succeeds. There are no consequences. The broom starts to widen and become thicker, and the way she concentrates on it is that she wants to see arms and legs so that it almost takes the form of a person. The brushes become thicker and rounder, almost like hair. And she's gained experience in that. And after carefully putting everything together in the bed, tucking it up, she stops to listen to see if Orifix is around, and hears nothing. She hopes that he's left for the day. And then she begins to creep down the ladder from her loft, walks to the door, opens the door, and she's going to look out. And I don't think there's really much here that can help her with this, honestly. I think, if anything, she's still tired, so overworked. I don't see her really having any kind of advantage on this. There's not much she can add to this. And that is a 5. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to end this for tonight. And she has opened the door and comes face to face with something. And we're going to come back to that in our next episode. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give the video a like if you've liked it, and leave comments. I'd love to know what everyone thinks about this. So thank you again for all your support, and have a great night, everybody.